Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a foundation review on the L'Oreal Total Cover Infallible Foundation. Now this foundation is the third addition to the Infallible line. So they have the Pro Glow right before this one and then the Pro Matte. So there's now 3 foundations. So because I have used these 2 foundations a lot, I feel like I can really compare this foundation with these. The other foundations in the Infallible line are more of like a medium coverage, and this one is supposed to be full coverage. This foundation has the traditional 1 fluid ounce amount of product. On the website it says it's enriched with an ingredient called Aloe gel, which is supposed to help blur imperfections. It doesn't say that part on the website, but I had to Google that ingredient that it said it's enriched with, which I found a bit odd. Like, if you're gonna say that it's enriched with something, you probably should tell people what that actually means, but hey, they didn't ask me. Along with them saying that this foundation is enriched with that ingredient, it is not on the ingredients list, which I find a bit odd. Like, if it says it's enriched with Aloe gel, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, it should be on the back ingredients list, but it is not. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. It's supposed to have a natural finish, and it is supposed to be 24 hours, just like these other 2 foundations and this one. But I'm starting to think that 24 hours does not mean that it's supposed to keep you matte for 24 hours. I just think that the foundation isn't going to start to run off your face, like disappear. Some foundations disappear after a few hours, because I have yet to try a 24-hour foundation that lasts more than a usual foundation of like 7 to 8 hours. So I have come to the conclusion that 24 hours wear does not mean it's going to keep you matte for 24 hours. It just means it's not going to disappear. The texture is supposed to be air light, which is good, which means you should not be able to feel this foundation once it gets on your face. There's no shelf life on the packaging for how long this foundation is going to be good before it expires, and it's not on the website, so I'm not quite sure. I'm assuming it's a year like normal foundations, but I don't know. I got my foundation from Amazon because at the time when I was purchasing, it was only available on Amazon, and I personally didn't like the way that the foundation was packaged. It wasn't it's not a huge deal just because it's a foundation in a container, but there was no like bubble wrap, there was no shipping paper, there was nothing. It was just this foundation in a huge box, so it was like shaking around in there. It was very odd to me, the way that the foundation was shipped. If you want to order from Amazon, it is currently available on Ulta. But you know, before I get any further, this entire situation with the Total Cover foundation is very different than the launchings of these 2 foundations. It seems as if like the foundation wasn't even brought up on L'Oreal's Instagram page. I mean, you would expect if they release a new foundation that they would do some kind of campaigning for the foundation, but there was nothing. So the only way that you knew that the foundation was launched was from Trend Mood 1 page, which is just a makeup news Instagram page. She was the only one that was really putting out stuff for the foundation. I went to L'Oreal's Instagram page and there was nothing. Like, I was scrolling, I was like, they're not talking about it. It's on there now, but before, the foundation wasn't even on L'Oreal's website. So I'm like, did they release this foundation, or like what is happening? Like, why aren't they talking about it? Then maybe a week and a half ago, they posted a picture with L'Oreal products. Like, it was just a regular picture and some L'Oreal products. Then in the very corner of the screen was the Total Cover foundation, but it was in a totally different packaging. So then I started thinking, maybe this foundation isn't new. Like, it's just new to the US, and it's already a foundation like overseas in Paris and stuff, like L'Oreal Paris. It might already be a foundation over there, so they felt like they didn't need to do any campaign because it wasn't like a new thing. So I don't know, that's just speculation. I don't know if that's true, but I just found the whole situation to be very odd. Like, why aren't there any like social media posts on their Instagram? It might be some now, haven't checked today, but for the time that I'm talking about, previously when they first launched it, there wasn't anything. So I don't know, that's just weird to me. So just a quick comparison between the Pro Glow and the Total Cover. When I'm shaking it up, I can hear the Pro Glow moving around. I can't hear anything, so that's telling me that this foundation is going to be full coverage, very thick. So with all of that being said, we're gonna go ahead and apply this foundation. So this foundation has a squeezy tube on the end of it, and I've never seen a foundation look like this on the end, so that's interesting. I already did this, that's why there's foundation already on my hand, but I realized that I wasn't filming. So it's a very thick foundation. It comes out like that. So it has like a very moussey texture when I'm applying it on my hand, and I'm just going to dot this all over my face. So first we're going to do the Beauty Blender. The brush blends it in a little more flat, very slightly luminous on the Beauty Blender side. So far, I don't really like this foundation, so I'm going to try to build up the coverage. This foundation actually doesn't feel that full coverage to me. It feels like maybe a medium. And it seems like the Beauty Blender side, like that side is giving more coverage than the brush, when usually a brush gives you a fuller coverage than a Beauty Blender. It does dry down to kind of like a matte finish. The look of the foundation, I'm not a huge fan of. It's not really wowing me. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in just so you can see like the texture on my face. It looks like skin, doesn't look like cakey foundation, so that's good. Yeah, so as you can see, it looks like skin. It doesn't look bad. It covered up the redness next to my nose, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and that will be the get ready with me part of this video. So just keep on watching. Alright, so I just finished with the rest of my makeup, and I like the way the foundation is looking now, but I did set my face with the L'Oreal Pro Matte powder, and that powder is a different shade. So before I did that, I was noticing that the actual foundation is a bit gray. I got mine in the shade Classic Tan, which is the same shade that I am in the Pro Glow. However, this one is not gray on me, and this one is a bit gray or ashy or that kind of tone to it. So in my opinion, this foundation needs a bit of help. Like, you're gonna have to set it with a powder that matches your skin tone if you're my skin tone and you're in the shade Classic Tan usually. Now if you're in a different shade altogether, I don't know if that one is gray or ashy or anything, so you're gonna have to try it out for yourself. But that's one thing that I don't like about this foundation, is the shade of it. The way that this foundation applied, it kind of reminded me of the Anastasia stick foundation. It's the look of the foundation once I blend it in that they're very identical. The Anastasia stick foundation has a drier texture when I blend it in, and it was very similar to this foundation. So if you have the stick foundation, you kind of know what I mean. Like, when you blend it in, it's very dry. It doesn't give life to your face. So that's one thing that I'm kind of like meh about this foundation. Both the shade and the texture of it, I'm like, I don't know. But foundations kind of grow on me. So one of the issues that I have is a smile line issue, and I do have oily skin. So those are the two things that I kind of talk about in my check-ins. So yeah, I'm going to leave, and then I'll see you guys in my first check-in. So yeah, just keep on watching. Alright, so hey guys, it is 5:27 p.m. and I put on this foundation at about 11:30, so it's been about 6 hours. I'm oily right here on my chin, not so much on my forehead. In front of these lights though, like when I go in my bathroom lighting, I'm not as oily as I'm appearing on camera. It's not creasing significantly into my smile lines, which is amazing. I really like it because of that, but really none of the foundations in the Infallible line seep into my smile lines in a crazy amount like other foundations do. I can see myself wearing this foundation a lot because it's not a bad foundation and I don't see any new breakouts on my forehead or next to my nose or my chin or any of the places that I could tell when a foundation is a little more irritating, as if I can already see bumps, and I don't see any right now. So it's been 6 hours so far, and I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and use blotting papers and add a little bit more powder because I am about to go somewhere. So I guess can be where you guys can see if you're actually wearing this all day, if you use the blotting papers and powder, if it's going to help. So I'm not really picky on the blotting papers that I use. I currently use the Sephora blotting papers. They have some really cheap ones at Walmart, and I really think they all work the same. So I'm just going to dab up the oil next to my nose and on my chin and on my nose, and then just go a little on my forehead. I am going to go over to my smile lines. Then I take a little bit of my face powder that I used for that day, take a little bit on my sponge, and then just go over all of those areas. So that's the end of this check-in. I guess I was able to show you guys how I touch up my foundation, so that's a plus. But I am going to probably do my last check-in around 11:30 p.m. So I'm going to be wearing this foundation for about 12 hours. I will see you guys in my next check-in, and yeah, so keep watching. All right, hey guys, so this is my final check-in. It is 11:23 p.m. so about the 12-hour mark. So I did blot and apply a little more powder, and 6 hours later I'm oily again. So I guess 6 hours is that mark to where you will need to touch up if you have oily skin, because I am oily next to my nose, a little bit on my chin, and a little on my forehead, my same places that I'm oily. So with this foundation, I actually feel like my skin looks really nice. I guess that Alia gel, A-L-L-I-A gel, I guess that ingredient that they have in the foundation that, again, was not on the packaging, is actually helping to blur imperfections, because my skin looks smooth and I didn't use a primer. Because I am going to keep testing out this foundation because I really like the texture of it. As far as the color, like I said, the color is a bit odd. I don't know if all of them are gray like that or if it's just my shade for my skin tone. It looks kind of gray. I'm not sure. But on my skin, Classic Tan, which is the same shade that I'm in the Pro Glow, is a bit gray on me with the Total Cover foundation. So I will have to definitely set it with a foundation powder to make the foundation match my skin more. As far as my smile lines, again, whatever that ingredient is, I think it's helping to smooth out this foundation, because while my foundation has creased into my smile lines, it does not look bad. You can see that it creased, but it's not like in your face. Like sometimes foundations will separate and stuff in my smile lines and it looks bad, but this one actually looks nice. So overall, I'm liking the foundation. I like the texture of it. The only thing, like I keep saying, the only thing is the color of it. So if you're trying to decide if you want to go out and purchase this foundation, I think it's a great foundation to try out. You know, makeup is fun. I would buy it to try it out and see how it works for my skin type. I guess I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but I am sick. That's why I'm sounding a little funny. But I guess it doesn't matter now because now the video's over. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to keep yourself updated on my new videos, and I promise I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.